A lot went down this weekend at the Mexico Grand Prix. I want to talk about if Max Verstappen intentionally sabotaged his own race, and was it some 4D chess moves to actually have him come out on top on the weekend? The general consensus after this weekend's race was that Max was way too aggressive in his defense of Lando Norris and rightfully deserved the dual 10-second penalties he earned from the one lap of defense against his title rival. I'm here to go over why Max really came out the winner and what this means moving forward for the World Drivers' Championship battle this year. Let's get started with this article from Planet F1. Did Max Verstappen play the ultimate 4D chess move with Mexican Grand Prix penalties? So, pretty much what this theory is going to come down to is the final placing that he had in the race and what the comparison would have been if he hadn't done what he did. So, first of all, we're going to try to watch this quick clip and recap what actually happened. If it gets copyright, you're just going to see screenshots over this, and I'll do it in post. But we're going to try to watch it and see if they'll let us see if they'll let us play it. This is into turn 4. I believe it's lap 10. Lando Norris on the attack of Max Verstappen. So it's going to be played at 1.25 speed as well. So you can see, we'll put it a little slower actually. He's coming in here. Lando comes ahead of Max by the braking point. You can see he is ahead, still ahead, and then right here, as you know, surprisingly, as Max is like boxed in by this Ferrari, he actually makes up quite a bit of room and comes wheel to wheel, still behind. But I don't know how he didn't hit Carlos Sainz here, to be honest. If you see from the aerial shot, it looks like he's on top of him. I don't understand how they didn't have contact. But you can see Lando was ahead for the apex here. Max takes the inside. Lando attacks on the outside. And Max makes the turn, no problem. Lando probably, and you know, the funny thing is we saw Liam Lawson do this later in the race. He took this inside piece and then cut back in. Lando instead decides to go mow some grass, start a landscaping service. Comes out right next to Carlos Sainz. Sainz is probably like, what the hell just happened? He just emerges out of nowhere in the lead of Carlos Sainz. Obviously cedes that position to him. This turn 4 turns into another very quick turn 5, another right-hander here. So he gives the position back, no problem. And then Max is not happy. He's on the attack now. And realistically, he knows this is his only chance to mount any kind of an attack because even after a lap or two, the pace of the McLaren is just so much better than the Red Bull at this point that it's not going to make a difference. So he knows it's now or never. So that was turn 5. We come up to turn 6 here and turn 7. And this is where shit gets sticky. Lando leaves the door wide open. He leaves the door wide open. Max comes up, late breaks him. Lando, we see this on the telemetry as well. Lando did take this turn faster than usual. Max took it faster as well. Late braked, and first of all, Max is technically ahead here, but neither of them are making this fucking turn. No chance they're making that. As you can see, they go way off, and Charles Leclerc moves up from 4th place all the way through into 2nd. And that right there is the 4D chess move. So what happens here is Verstappen ends up getting ahead of Norris and stays ahead for a couple of laps, I believe. I'd have to go back and double check for sure, but he stays ahead for a couple of laps. He doesn't immediately cede the position back. And Lando stays behind and is losing time because obviously the pace of the Ferrari is better than the Red Bull, as well as the pace of the McLaren being better. So here's turn 4. We can see Max uses 20% more throttle than Norris to defend the position after surpassing the apex. So you could see in the clip as well, Lando was just taking the turn, and then Max was accelerating through and going wheel to wheel with Lando. So again, I'm a Max fan, but he should have gotten penalized. And you know what the thing is that he knew he was going to get penalized by what he did, and that's probably why he didn't say much. He obviously didn't say much anyway because the FIA is kind of against him, but he deserved to get penalized for that. I don't know about turn 4. Turn 4 was less egregious. I could say they could chalk that up to being an incident because I don't know. Is there no ceding the position anymore? I don't know. I just feel like before it was more if you knew you weren't going to make the corner, instead of just going through the runoff and then staying ahead, guys would cede the position and going behind. Now it's like anytime you're going to lose a position, you just try to say that you're ahead at the apex and then you go off course. So I don't like that. I want them to get rid of that. I'd love more gravel traps so that you can't just mow grass and get back into your position. But I'm not going to lie, dude, this very first contact here, let's see if we can go back and find the exact moment, because there was contact in this first turn 4 here. That little bump right there, dude, that's the contact right there. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's trying to cause a puncture. And listen, I can appreciate that part of the racecraft. You know what I mean? I like that shit. But he's trying to get a little bit of damage, maybe cause a puncture. Because if Lando has to pit, that changes his whole race too. So the first time he was going a little bit light and just wanted to cause a puncture or whatever, and just wanted to see what would happen. The second time, he said fucking Allahu Akbar and absolutely launched that shit down the turn. Neither of them were anywhere close. And again, if Lando wanted to make the turn, he could have stopped and made the turn, and Max still would have ran off. It would have just been track limits at that point, but that's kind of the rules now, and it's really annoying. I wanted it to be more straightforward. I like the hard racing, dude, because otherwise we don't get fucking shit all race. If there's no hard racing, if you know you're not allowed to go in and attack and there be any hard racing, we don't get fucking shit all race. So I don't mind it. That was the most exciting thing that happened all race, and the second most exciting thing that happened all race was Lawson and Perez with hard racing again. And dude, sometimes there's fucking contact, man. It's not always fucking pretty, you know. It's people want it to be so like just textbook and they're not robots, man. We could just put them on rails and have them go around the track the whole time on rails if that's how you want to do it. That's so stupid, man. Like there's no individuality to that. There's no like come on, man. Like let's be a little more interesting than that. Let's not have our fucking twats that wound up that there can't be any kind of racing. I agree he should have gotten penalized, but here maybe why Max got penalized. So this article, we're not going to read the whole thing, goes on to kind of explain how this is similar to the situation in 2021 where he's on the back foot a bit and needs to do some drastic stuff to make sure that he can stay in the lead or maintain his advantage in the Drivers' Championship. Here's what it comes down to, guys. Lando Norris only ended up finishing the race 4.7 seconds back of the winner, Carlos Sainz. That amount of time, and maybe even more, was taken up in that battle with Max Verstappen and with having to stay behind Max for whatever amount of laps it was afterwards. So if Max lets him through and Lando does go on to win, which is likely given their pace, and Max gets fourth with it, which is the top spot that he would possibly be able to get that race because clearly Lando was faster and clearly both Ferraris were faster. So if he lets Lando go in to win, let's just take a look. If he goes in to win, he gets 25 instead of 18. That means if Max comes in fourth, that's a 13-point swing to Max. Oh, I'm blocking it here. Obviously, you guys know the winner gets 25 and second place gets 18. But the whole point is if Lando wins and Max gets fourth, that's a 13-point difference. And what actually ended up happening was Lando in second and Max in sixth after 20 seconds of penalties with only a 10-point swing. So he saved himself 3 points by getting the 20 seconds of penalties. The FIA probably realized that after the fact and ended up giving him after the race 2 additional points onto his license. So I think he's at 6 points now over the last 12 months or whatever the period is. So maybe they realize too that if we don't penalize him points wise and we let him do this for the rest of the season, he's going to keep doing this shit and not care because what's the point? If your best case scenario is finishing fourth and Lando finishing in first, why not send it, dude? I don't that's what I'm saying. Like everybody has their fucking twat in a fucking bunch about it. Nobody can just sit back and fucking enjoy some racing. They have to be a bunch of bitches about it. It's like, oh, the rules, the rule. Oh, McLaren. Oh, fucking Zach. Bro. Oh, it's getting a bit ridiculous. Well, you fucking cry about it, bitch. This is fucking F1. This is as good as it fucking gets. Stop being a fucking pussy. We want to see racing, not a bunch of guys following each other around in a single file line for fucking an hour and a half, dude. Nobody wants to fucking see that. That's how a lot of the season was for some points, but some of these races, it's just guys following each other. Like we want to see some fucking action, man. Come on, stop being bitches. So that's the conspiracy. We'll finish up with that conspiracy first. Was it a 4D chess move? I believe so. I believe he knew he was going to get penalized and thought, well, if the worst is 2 10-second penalties, then that's and 2 points on the license. It's better than losing 3 extra points in the championship, right? I agree. I think that's correct. So probably a 4D chess move there. Maybe realized that was going to have to be something that happened. And I do think that he knew if he lets Lando get anywhere up the circuit ahead of him, any kind of gap, it's over. You're not catching up and trying to mount anything. So rightfully penalized. Again, I agree with the penalties. Still made sense for him, and he still came out a winner from it. So everybody wins, right? Except for the fucking crybabies at McLaren. They can't just let it go. And listen, too, Red Bull's fucking crying, too, because Horner showing up. Horndog showing up to the post race thing with the telemetry, like, just stop yapping, bro. You know what I mean? We don't need telemetry. We have eyes. Again, even if you like Red Bull or like Max Verstappen, you can, if you're unbiased at all, you can watch that and say, yeah, the first one he was behind at the apex. That one wasn't egregious. I wouldn't have been mad if the tables were turned and Lando didn't get penalized for that. I didn't think that was anything big. The second one, yeah, he tried to kill him a little bit. Yeah. Anyway, and again, rightfully so, bro. Rightfully fucking so. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to in the championship, bro. It ain't gonna be fucking. Oh yeah, just go right through. Yeah, just go ahead, go right through. No problem. Yeah, no, go ahead, bro. Yeah, you take the inside, I'll take the outside. Ain't gonna be that shit, bro. Ain't gonna have none of that. So Horner labels Verstappen's penalties as very harsh and calls for overtaking regulations to get back to basics. I would agree with that sentiment, but not in this case. You know what I mean? Maybe the first one. I really would not, if any drivers on the grid had that first incident in turn 4 and they didn't get penalized, I wouldn't think that's a big deal. I would call that a racing incident. Because here's the thing. If they would have crashed and double DNF there, they probably wouldn't have penalized either of them, right? Like I don't know. I just feel like if they crash, then it's like, oh, it's just an incident. But then if they go through it, then it's like, oh, that was so horrible. You need to get penalized. I don't know. I guess because if there is an incident and it's one person's fault and then it affects the other person's race, but it didn't really affect his race, bro. He cut through the grass and came out ahead of Sainz. It's not like he lost a bunch of time from it. I don't know, man. But anyway, Horner's coping, he's crying, and then we get, obviously Zach Brown, the biggest fucking crybaby on the grid. It's getting a bit ridiculous. I'm just so scared he's gonna get hurt. Shut up, bitch. You know what I mean? He's crying. Jos Verstappen chimes in, and he says, I'm not just crying, I'm coming at you with a fucking conspiracy theory. And he points out, I don't think he actually says it specifically, but he pointed out essentially that Johnny Herbert, who has had it out for Verstappen, former British F1 racer, obviously the British bias, we all know. We don't need to go over that. And Sky F1 television pundit Tim Mayer, who was the son of the late McLaren co-founder Teddy Mayer. Hey guys, maybe let's have some people steward that don't have bias one way or the other. Maybe that. Maybe guys that maybe didn't race before and they're just around racing. Or, I don't know, maybe some genius that can just read the racing regulations, watch some races and see and not have to be biased or have some nepo hire and, all this fucking bullshit, man. It's always this fucking bureaucratic fucking brown nosing ball sucking bullshit. Like, it's always fucking something, man. It can't just be down to the racing. It's always got to be about, FOM's money and not letting somebody replace Perez or this person's British, so can't penalize them and this. It's just fucking annoying, bro. Just shut up and let them race, man. Um, yeah, so we had Horner crying, Zach Brown crying, Verstappen crying, and bringing up the conspiracy theory. We also had, and this was probably my least favorite moment of the weekend, we had Charles Leclerc absolutely fucking snubbing Carlos Sainz after the race like a little baby back bitch. Bro was the first one to fucking celebrate with you last week, and watch this. We're going to watch this video. This is some disrespectful fucking shit. I'm not going to lie, bro. Oh. Like, he barely looks at him, bro. He knows who the fucking bright red suit is walking towards him. Looks at him. No, I'm not gonna look at you. Walks by, and Carlos is like, oh, I guess that's what we're doing. Like, he's all fucking upset because he just won the race and he wants to celebrate with his team that he celebrates with every time they win. And I guess it only goes both ways when you're the one leaving. Kind of fucking pathetic, bro. Leclerc's kind of lost some aura and lost some fucking respect, man. Kind of a pussy move, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You won last week and everybody celebrated with you. Stop being a bitch. You can't win them all. You ain't Maxwell, bro. The fuck, man. Like, what? Are you 12? Like, come on, man. That's your teammate. That's been your teammate for years. You guys celebrate every fucking win together. Now he wins because he's heading out soon, and you gotta cry about it. And you don't even show him any love. You don't give him nothing. Not to even fake it, bro. Fake it. Dap him up. Do something. You couldn't even fake it. Not cool from Leclerc, bro. Not cool. Go back to fucking second grade. You want to act like a little bitch, bro. Not cool. Last thing that I want to go over that happened this weekend: Lawson versus Perez. So it got a little bit heated. You know what I mean? We had some middle fingers from Lawson, and Perez not too happy. He says Lawson doesn't have the right attitude for F1. Well, if attitude is what gets you P17 for the fucking third time this season, then I don't think he needs your attitude. You fuck. Like, shut up, dude. First of all, Perez looks like a. I'm not even gonna say it. Looks like a fucking lesbian, dude. I'm not gonna lie. He looks like a lesbian, honestly. Um, he's a bitch. He's done nothing all season, and these rookies come in and start slapping their dicks around, and the fucking old heads are all getting upset now. I mean, Lawson is picking beef. Don't get me wrong. He's picking beef with Alonso. That's the last beef I would pick. Perez, that's an easier target, bro. Go after Perez. That's totally fine. And you're trying to take his spot. Totally rightful beef. And let's go over the clip. Let's watch the replay here. Again, we're gonna try to skirt around their little systems here, but we'll see if we can play this real quick. Yeah. This is their main. So Lawson's ahead. Lawson defends. Perez still takes the inside. He leaves the door open, so he defends outside. Perez goes to the inside, and same spot as Max and Lando as well. I mean, you can call. I think Lawson was ahead, but Perez just did the exact same thing that Max did and added a little bit of acceleration after the apex. I think Lawson was ahead here as well, but Perez has the inside, so obviously has the right to create the line, and not forces him off, but Perez makes the turn. Lawson again, and this wasn't oh shit. This wasn't as close as Max and Lando. Max was a little bit farther off the line, but I think Lando could use this runoff area instead of cutting grass, bro. So Lawson doesn't like that. He's still on the inside here. Perez has the spot now, and this is obviously on Lawson. And I don't know if he ended up getting penalized for this. He probably should have. You can already see the hit to the side pod here. That pretty much did it for Perez. You can see the debris coming off of here, and that ain't Lawson's debris. That's this front tire here hitting his side pod, and we'll see some more debris shatter off there as he comes around the corner. And again, off track again, and we're coming up to another shorthand right-hander here. Perez tries to cut back on, and honestly, if I was Perez there, I would have wrecked his shit, to be honest. But doesn't wreck his shit, comes wheel to wheel again, and Lawson keeps the position and will keep it going forward. Perez pitted shortly after this, and that was essentially the end of his race. But either way, he fucking finished in 17th, bro. Like, that didn't decide that. It definitely didn't help, but yeah. So Lawson versus Perez. Let's see if we can show you the middle finger real quick. You know, I kind of like it. You know, you're driving like full speed and you're flipping them off. I do kind of appreciate that. I couldn't tell if this is middle finger at first, but I guess you can kind of see this one down and this one up. It was hard to tell, but yeah, he flipped them off. Oh, sorry, you can't say. You can kind of say he flipped them off. You know, so what, bro? So what? Do something about it. Like, I like it. I don't like the he's so disrespectful. Like, fucking get over it, bro. We're grown men. Like, just get over it. It's racing, dog. Hey, if you don't like it, do something about it. Don't let him fucking take your spot, dog. He's finishing better than you every week, and you're in the better car, and you've been there for fucking ages, dog. Perez is washed. And we'll finish with that. If that is not enough after this weekend to be the end for Perez at Red Bull, I don't know what will be. Not only has his whole season been shit, but finishing 17th at home after he started what on the grid, like 15th or so. Where did he start? Oh, he started 18th. Yeah, never mind. He started 18th, finishes 17th, but there's 3 DNFs, so that's not really any better. He was the last. He was the last classified finisher and was lapped. It doesn't really get much worse than that, dude. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Lawson didn't do any better. He was second to last, but just I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Again, rightful penalties for Verstappen. Probably knew that was going to happen. Probably was planning on that, and still ended up coming out on top in the end because of the less point deficit that he lost to Lando. So a win-win, I guess. Not like they did have any accidents or anything. So you know, it's getting a bit ridiculous. Like, what? Keep fucking crying, Zach Brown. It's called racing, little bro. Yeah, the stewards, yeah, we know they're all biased. We get that too. Yoss doesn't need to say that. Of course, some of them are biased. We've heard about Johnny Herbert over and over again. All this shit. We don't really need to hear about that. Really good race though overall, bro. A lot of great stuff happening. Last 2 races have been a lot of fun. Hopefully Brazil's the same this weekend. It seems like the Ferraris and the McLaren are going to continue to be the best cars for the rest of the year. And I'd love to see if the Ferrari actually ended up putting on their upgrades this week because I know they opted away from some of them or most of them last week at COTA. And I don't know if they ended up putting them on this week, but we'll have to see going into next week at Brazil. I'll be back tomorrow with my predictions for the race. I have no idea who I'm going to pick, but I'm riding a 5-race win streak for picking the race winner. So we're going to get the right one way or the other. And we'll see. I genuinely have no idea, though. But it's going to be an exciting rest of the season. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Like the video if you like the video, and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with my race predictions, or later today. We'll see. Peace.